Nothing But the Words, episode number 132, Book Envy, Make It Work For You. Hey there, and welcome to Nothing But the Words. I'm your book coach, Candace L. Davis. I hope your week and your writing are both going incredibly well. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to invite you to my open Q&A call this week. It takes place this Thursday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's all about writing and publishing books. There is no charge to join this live Zoom call. However, you do need to register in advance, and I will be answering as many of your questions as I can on the call. You can ask general writing and publishing questions. You can ask questions about my coaching programs, or you can ask specific questions about the book project that you have in mind or in progress right now. To register in advance, you can go to the registration page at CandaceLDavis.com/Q&A. Yes, there will be a replay. And if you can't make it to the live call, register anyway, and then reply to any email from me. You'll get an email confirming your registration and just ask me your questions there. And then I will answer them for the recording, and you can catch all of your questions being answered on the video replay. CandaceLDavis.com/Q&A. Now, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about book envy and how you can actually make it work in your favor. We often use envy and jealousy interchangeably, but they can have slightly different meanings. Depending on your chosen dictionary, jealousy and envy both describe a desire for what someone else has. But jealousy also has a malicious connotation. Envy, not so much. Jealousy in this case has an element of resentment or hostility towards the person who has the thing that you desire. Maybe you not only wish you had the thing, but you also resent the fact that they have it, that they have achieved what you want. Maybe you get annoyed or irritated every time you think about their success. With envy, at least as we're using it here, your desire has much less to do with the person. You don't have a problem with them having what they have, and much more to do with the object of your desire. It's not so much that you want to take it away from them, but seeing them with it intensifies your desire and makes you feel kind of bad about not having realized your desires yet. I am not here to argue in favor of envy or jealousy, friends. Left unchecked, of course, they can become self-damaging to you, of course, yourself, or they can hurt the people around you. And that's not what we're in favor of. But the fact is, as humans, we do experience the full spectrum of emotions, even if we try to repress or ignore them. Usually, for most of us, it's not that you resent your friend or your colleague or your mentor for writing a book or for becoming a bestseller or for hitting high sales numbers when you haven't even written yours yet. Instead, their book and their success with it is just a nagging reminder that you haven't done what you said you were going to do yet, that you're kind of letting yourself down. And you might be familiar with the term Schadenfreude, finding pleasure in someone else's misfortune. You might be less familiar with Freudenfreude because it gets so much less press. But Freudenfreude is finding pleasure in someone else's good fortune. Schadenfreude, bad fortune. Freudenfreude, good fortune. Finding your pleasure there. When I attended a conference recently, Redefining Wealth Live with Patrice Washington here in Atlanta, one of the things I enjoyed most was how much everyone in the room, and we were mostly women, so all the women in the room celebrated each other's successes. When someone took the stage or the mic and talked about what they had achieved, the room went crazy with joy for their achievements. Freudenfreude all day long. We all found pleasure in each other's achievements. But I also have to believe there were people in the room who had inklings of, what about me? Not because they necessarily begrudged the other woman her success, but because that success reminded them that they still hadn't accomplished certain things that they set out to do yet. In fact, I saw a woman there who started her coaching business around the same time I started my book coaching business. And we don't do the same things, but her success stirred up in me some questions about my own business journey. Why not me? Why don't I have a business that size yet or with that much reach yet? I was genuinely thrilled for her. I like her. I was happy for her success. But my sense of what about me brought me to a fork in the road. I could either give in and spend the day beating myself up for not achieving all my goals first, or I could use the moment to my advantage. If you're not paying attention, envy or jealousy can lead you to feel guilt and shame. And those emotions might be short term motivators, but they are certainly no fun. So I didn't want to spend the day beating myself up. I'm not in a competition with her. So there was no point in that. And rather than beating yourself up when you feel envy because someone else's book is out or someone else's book is more successful than yours at the moment, I want to suggest you use that emotion when you feel it. Don't run from it, don't hide from it, don't beat yourself up, but use it to your advantage. Here's what I did with my sense of why not me that I felt when I saw my colleague's success and how you can apply it to help you write the kind of book you want to write and really create the success as an author that you want to create. When you see your old classmate or your colleague or one of your mentors write their book, even though you might be thrilled for their success, you might also feel a bit of envy. In that case, start first by acknowledging that feeling. It does not make you a bad person, it just makes you a normal human. So when you feel even a little envy around someone else's book, ask yourself a few questions. Start with this one. What do they really want? Sorry, what do they really have that I want? Is it the quality of the writing style, their engaging storytelling? Is it the phenomenal research she's done or the frameworks he's created for the book? Is it their book deal and the advance that they received? Is it their book deal and the advance that they received? Is it bestseller status? What is it that they have? What is their book doing for them that you really want? Is it the speaking engagements the book is helping them land? Is it the book sales and that extra income that they're creating? Get really clear about what is stirring up the feeling of envy. It's not just that they wrote a book and that you want to write one. It goes deeper than that. What is it that you want to get out of the book that you're seeing them get? What is it you want the book to do that you're seeing them do? The odds are you do not really want the exact results this other author has. You might want more. Maybe their memoir has gotten them speaking engagements all over the country or all over the world, and you don't really want to travel that much for work. Maybe their novel has won a prestigious award, which would be cool, but you don't really care all that much about awards. Really identify what they have that you want from your book, including finishing it and publishing it, of course. Don't overlook those important results. Then, as much as you are able, assess what they've done, how they created those results. If you know the person well enough, you can just ask them. Most people love talking about the work that they put into creating their book, writing their book, getting their book to reach a certain level of success. Many authors talk about the behind the scene aspects of writing and publishing their book in interviews and on social media. Pay attention to what they say. Pay attention to what kind of work they put in. Then ask yourself if you are willing to put in the same kind of effort. If the author you envy says she wrote every day at 5 a.m., that does not mean you have to do the same thing. You don't have to get up at 5 just because she did. But are you willing to put in an equivalent effort in a way that works for you in order to create equivalent results? At the conference, I had to admit to myself that the colleague who stirred up a sense of envy in me had taken much bigger risks in her business than I had, much bigger. So then it was up to me whether I wanted to decide to put in similar effort and take similar risks. I haven't decided yet. I have no problem with effort. I'm a little risk averse. When you feel when you feel a little book envy, you can try to ignore it. That's your prerogative. Or you can follow that feeling and see where it leads you. Let it guide you to figure out what you really want from your book and how to get it. Whether you already have a clear picture of what you want from your book or not, I would love to have you join me for my open Q&A call this week. I'll answer as many questions as I can for whoever shows up for the call. And if you can't make it live, you can always register and just send me your questions. You can register at CandiceLDavis.com/Q&A. That's all for this week's episode, my friends. Thanks for listening to Nothing But the Words. I'm your book coach, Candace L. Davis, and I'll see you next time.